If you were born 50 years ago, statistically, your testosterone would be twice as high. And that would mean a higher drive for competition, more energy, more sex drive, more muscle volume, and even increased attraction from women. All that because you were born a few years earlier. Honestly, it's a bit depressing. You see, low testosterone is to a big part not your fault. Today's environment is literally set up for low testosterone. There is a reason why testosterone levels have been dropping for decades now. And I can tell you, the government doesn't care if your test is low. Yet, if you know how to deal with that, if you know the traps and you avoid them, anybody can still achieve sky-high testosterone levels. Which also makes it even better because your competition still has to deal with low T. And once you have that high testosterone, it's usually a lot easier to maintain or even increase it even more. And for the last year or so, I learned a lot about testosterone because I wanted to maximize it myself as well. I read books like Estrogeneration, The Testosterone Advantage, and more. And in this video, I want to tell you about 13 everyday items that kill your testosterone. So if you want high test as well, avoid these as much as possible. It's not gonna be easy, but that's why everybody has low T. And the first everyday item I'm gonna talk about might be a bit unexpected, but of course is extremely terrible. In videos like this, I don't think people would usually talk about it, but if you actually think about it, you must agree. And the first item on this list is your phone. This guy right here. Now, we could talk about the radiation, some plastics or whatever weird thing that might directly lower your testosterone because you're exposed to it. But I think way more importantly, and let's not sugarcoat this, you never use your phone in a way that would increase your testosterone. Let's be real. I think there are some relatively neutral things, like just quickly checking how to get to point A. Fine, but mostly you will probably watch Netflix, watch YouTube, go on TikTok, Instagram or whatever, waste your time with bad posture, looking at your artificial screen, comparing your own shitty life to that of a successful Instagram influencer or whatever. Or you go on WhatsApp, see that your crush has left you on read, you play some shitty Clash Royale games, lose against Hog Rider again, waste some more time going through texts with your ex, and finally put your phone away at the end of the day, realizing you didn't go outside, didn't exercise or do anything useful, anything good for your testosterone, but you scrolled and wasted time, and now you can't even fall asleep because of the artificial blue light that tells your brain it's still day. Second, are non-stick pans. I'm gonna keep this very quick, but in case you never heard of it, non-stick pans are probably pretty bad for your testosterone. Those kind of pans contain PFAs or PFOAs that leach in your food when you cook it. And those small chemicals have been found to be bad for your testosterone. So better alternatives are stainless steel pans, cast iron, or even copper. So maybe invest a little bit of money and get one of those to improve your health. Third is tap water. Now this, of course, will definitely vary from country to country. It depends on the regulations and just how good the quality of your tap water is. But generally speaking, it's probably safe to say that your tap water, although it can be considered healthy, definitely is not optimal for good male health. It contains chlorine, fluoride, and even trace pharmaceuticals from, for example, the anti-baby pill, which all interferes with your hormone production. So if you have the money, either get a good filter, do a little bit more research about that, or buy your water from glass bottles from a good source. Water in plastic bottles, not really much better, I think, because you get all the microplastics. But I guess nowadays, microplastic is everywhere. Next up is breakfast cereals. Honestly, to make it quick, almost any brand, any cereals contains way too much sugar and probably 100 other harmful things. Especially in the US, it's probably even worse than here in the EU. But of course, all that sugar and probably a few other harmful things are not good for your hormone production. So instead, eat a real breakfast like steak and eggs. Or just eggs, to be a bit more budget friendly. With all the micronutrients, that's even gonna increase your testosterone. Then fifth, plastics. I'm just going to assume you already know this, so I'm not going to waste your time, but I still had to include it. If you somehow never heard of it, plastics are ruining your hormone health. And honestly, I probably need to talk more about this. We have to wage war on plastics. Like I just said, microplastics are everywhere nowadays. And in a recent study, they found microplastics in every testicle in that study. There were only 17 participants, I think, but still, it's everywhere and it acts estrogenic and is not good for your testosterone, your fertility, and probably 100 other health markers as well. Remove plastics as much as possible. Next is fluoride toothpaste. Now what you will read online is that fluoride is used to prevent cavities, but also fluoride acts estrogenic. So you kind of end up in this spot where you're like, okay, what do I do? And I recently got a fluoride-free toothpaste, but to be honest with you, I'm still not 100% sure if that little amount of fluoride is actually that bad and if it's really worth to remove it. Still, I think it's a thing you could consider, also especially because when you eat the right food and you don't have too many cheat meals like I do, your teeth should be perfectly fine. So if you want, do a little more research on this topic, but getting a fluoride-free toothpaste could potentially improve your testosterone too. Next is straight up sugar. Now to be fair, I already kind of addressed this when I talked about the breakfast cereals, but because I hate sugar so much, but also love it, unfortunately, I had to address this again. Just sugar in general is not gonna be good for your testosterone. And here I'm talking especially about, of course, artificial added sugar. If you have a little bit of sugar from fruit, I don't think that's problematic. But donuts, energy drinks, etc., yeah, they won't boost your testosterone, and you know that too. Next is actually your gaming chair. Now, this is not about plastics or some other shit, but because of it, and I could have also used just your PC in general, but those things make you sit, and they also make you sit inside all the time, looking at your screen with bad posture, I guess. I'm the same. And again, on your PC, you're probably never doing something that's really good for your testosterone. Like unless maybe you somehow win big in some way, like you're really making money, or maybe when you win in some competition. But even then, I'm still skeptical. And no, winning against your competition in League of Legends most certainly will not increase your testosterone. And you know that too, come on. So your gaming chair, your PC, your desk is really not gonna increase your testosterone. I'm not saying you should throw it in the trash and remove it out of your life completely, but go outside more often, do more exercise, talk to more people, especially if you want better mental health and testosterone. I probably should do that too, because I'm working a lot on my PC. Next up are seed oils. Now seed oils are a very recent invention, which for one should make you a bit cautious, but it also means that there isn't too much data or evidence for it being either healthy or unhealthy. Yet, very coincidentally, almost all the modern deadly illnesses have exploded in correlation with sugar and seed oil consumption.
It's not looking good, Bev.
And when you actually look at how seed oils like canola oil are produced, you might become a bit skeptical about its health benefits, about the fact that it's heart healthy. Seed oils contain plenty of omega-6 fatty acids, which have been proven to increase inflammation and lower testosterone. So maybe it would be better to use real fats and not inventions from 200 years ago. Butter, ghee, tallow, etc. Number 10 is polyester clothing. I know this is polyester. I'm not perfect, but I'm about to go to the gym, and also it makes me look a bit more muscular. Still, some male health experts claim that polyester can be bad for your testosterone. And in my opinion, there's still limited proper evidence. And again, it's just one of those small things that only have a small impact. But I think especially underwear that is cotton, for example, and not polyester, can be something for you to invest in. Underwear probably has the biggest ROI because it is literally around your balls. And when your balls get too warm, that's bad for fertility and most likely testosterone production too. So if you want to invest in your health, get some good organic cotton boxers. And maybe also don't have them tight, because that again makes your balls warmer. Then number 11 is body spray. This is bad because many of them contain phthalates. And those phthalates are bad for your testosterone. So the better way to deal with your smell is probably to eat right, heal your gut, and then smell normal. Or get better natural organic body spray without the phthalates. But please, if you stink, just use body spray. Nobody wants to smell that. Number 12 are pesticides. Now this is of course not something you use directly, but of course depending on what kind of foods you buy, you consume it or you don't. So especially if you have the money, I think it's really worth to buy organic foods so you don't have the pesticides that kill your testosterone. And lastly, sun lotion, which does contain parabens, who are endocrine disruptors and therefore are bad for your hormones. So either look for paraben-free sun lotion or use tallow, coconut oil or something like that, and stop eating seed oils, and for the most part you will probably be fine doing that. Maybe just don't overdo it and spend the whole day in the direct sun. Be logical. But those are the 13 everyday items that lower your testosterone. I didn't go too in-depth for each of those because then this video would be like an hour long, but I still hope you learned something, hope you added some things on the blacklist, and then if you're interested, of course, feel free to do more research on any of those things. But then that's about it for this video. Like I said, hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I would really appreciate a like. And if you want me to go more in depth, just leave a comment. But then eat your eggs as always. Have a great day and bye.